Hello, my name is Trydar. Today I'm going to be showing you how to build a large Greek temple in Minecraft. Let's get started. So let's take a little tour around our Greek temple here to see if you want to construct one. As you can see, it is done in the Doric order. It is a size in between the small Doric temple I have previously done and the full-on Parthenon that I have already done also. So it's going to be a good sized temple to fill a gap like that. This is roughly equivalent in size to the large Roman temple I've previously done. But of course, that one was done in the Corinthian order, whereas this one is done in a very strict Greek Doric style of temple. We go around here, of course, we can see our temple has two ends to it. Back here, we of course just have a little outdoor space. This is where the worshippers would go. They weren't allowed inside the temple, but you had to go around the back here and leave your offerings in this little space here at the back. Of course, around here as well, we have a complete colonnade that surrounds the building, as well as the typical 3 steps all the way around the building. On the top here, we do have a nice tiled roof design as well, and some very basic acroterions on the front here also, and some sculptures up here inside the pediment as well. And if we want to land here for a moment and have a potion so we can see things a little bit better, we can see inside here we do have a couple more columns on the interior of the porch. But if we go inside the naos here, or they're inside the cella, just break a little entranceway into the doorway, we of course have the main sanctuary in here with yet more Doric columns along the sides here as well. Some temple designs, they would have 2 tiers of columns, like I have in the Parthenon, but I wanted to echo the larger columns here as well that we have on the exterior. And down here, here's where you would have probably your cult statue inside the temple, but I'm leaving that blank in case you want to use this for like a base or a main storage room or something. That'd be a good use for this. But of course, I will leave it up to you to decide what exact use you have for your large Greek temple. I think it's always satisfying for me to build these myself. So for those of you that want something a little larger than the previous temples I've done, but you don't want to do a full-on massive Parthenon build, this is the size of temple that will be for you. So the materials list for this is not egregious. The numbers you will need for this, you will need 20,274 blocks of doric. Most of that is going to be for these columns here and for some of the details. You will need also 47,513 blocks of cobblestone. However, I should say this is a high estimate for the amount of cobble because I have made this building solid. There are no voids in it, like the base here is solid, and the roof up there is solid cobblestone as well as some of the walls. So if you want to, I think you can probably get away with half this amount of cobblestone. You will need for the door 28 blocks of cut copper, 798 cobblestone slabs, 296 stone brick slabs, 2,016 deep slate tile slabs. That number's wrong. 1,120 cobblestone stairs. Ignore that extra one. Little typo there. 6 blocks of netherrack for the fire pots we saw in the tour. 2,568 blocks of stone bricks. 360 stone brick stairs. 27 deep slate tile blocks. 48 cobblestone walls. And for the roof, 3,952 blocks of red nether brick for that. So nothing particularly hard to come by, just lots of materials. So let's now begin the tutorial itself. The dimensions of the building are as follows. It is 51 blocks wide across the front here, 105 blocks wide all the way to the back, and 44 blocks tall from this block down here all the way to the top of the acroterion right there. So to start with, you want to clear out a space of 51 by 105 and make a big rectangle of cobblestone out of that, like you see done here. If you want to save yourself some materials, like I said, on your cobblestone build, you can begin to leave this back here hollow and just make the rectangle, like I said, 51 by 105. You want to count this 3 times, as it is very literally foundational. You want to make sure this number is correct. All right, once you have done that, oh, there's also some stairs here in the middle, by the way. So if we divide the building in 2, there are going to be some stairs here. This would be our center line right here, and there's going to be 3 blocks on either side of this for a total of 7 right there. And those are going to be just right in the middle. So if you divide your 51 in half and minus a block, you want to go 25 blocks from this corner here. And it should be 25 blocks here, and then 26 for here, and then another 25 to get over to the next section. So for the base, of course, we want to continue up with our stairs. Greek temples, they always have these 3 stairs around here. These lower 2, these are called the stereobate, and this one on the top is called the stylobate. So to construct these, you want to just set it back by 1 block for 2 levels to make 3 sets of stairs like so, and you want to put just some cobblestone stairs in the middle here for you to walk up and down like this. This is the little Minecraft edition here. Just a quality of life, so you don't have to keep jumping up and down the stairs. You can have these over your entranceway like so. And you do want to have a cobblestone slab on this top part here. On the 2 courses of stone below this, as I said over there, you can leave this hollow if needs be to save yourself some amount of cobblestone there. Our temple looks quite attractive from this vantage point, if I do say so myself. But anyway, let's move on. So now we want to lay down the foundation for the temple itself. Let me give you a good top-down view of this and explain some things. So this is going to be fairly repetitive as we go, and each slice I'm going to show you is going to be 2 blocks taller than the previous slice. So bear that in mind as we go. And we're going to be 3D printing the building from the bottom up. So as you can see here, we have a fairly typical Greek temple plan with our porch around here, a colonnade, our cella right here in the middle, and of course that offering area back there that I described to you as well. These all have names, but I'm not going to burden you with those because they're not really relevant to the build here, to the tutorial itself. Like for instance, that back offering area back there is called the ophthidodomos, I think. I'm really butchering that Greek word, so I'm skipping over a couple of the more difficult ones. But anyway, we want to now place down our columns. So for our fluted Doric columns here we have on the side, our peristyle, what this is called, it's called a peristyle. And we want to have just these checkerboard patterns with the diorite here. If for some reason you want to have solid columns, you would want to fill in the fluting on the side there with even more diorite. I will leave that up to you. If you don't like how this looks and you want solid columns, that's perfectly acceptable to do. Of course, Doric columns, they sit directly on top of the stylobate, right here at the top. And the intercolumnation distance for this from the corner here, you can see is set back from the corner, just 1 block there. And the intercolumnation distance, that is, the distance that these columns are apart from each other, it's called the intercolumnation distance, is 5 blocks. So you want to do that, build another column, and skip 5 blocks there. And it's different here in the middle, where it's going to be 7 blocks here, where our center line is going through our building. Now about the center line, so if we want to draw this little red line here through the building, what we build on this side of the building will be an exact mirror image that we place on that side of the building. So as we go, I'll be focusing only on one half of the building, but that is because all you do is draw your little line here. And as you can see, one side is a mirror image of the other side. It has perfect symmetry in that way. So that will save us a little time in the explanation here. So with that said, you know that these are going to be 5 blocks in a column and 5 blocks in a column. And let's take a look at the intercolumnation on the side as well. Should be the same. 5 blocks in a column, 5 blocks in a column, 5 blocks and a column. I'll just zoom out a little here. I don't think there's any point in this where I made it more than 5 blocks, except in the middle there. Like so. You can see it's spaced a little bit farther apart in the middle there. This was commonly done on temples as well. For instance, in the Parthenon, it's kind of a special case, but firstly, there aren't any straight lines in the building, but also all the blocks in the building are carved to fit only in one place. Because every straight line you see in the building is actually a curve, a very subtle curve. But we don't have that ability to do that in Minecraft. We don't have the resolution for that, so we have to have everything nice and straight. So for that, also back here, there's this little fire pot. So I will knock a couple of blocks out here. We can see we just have cobblestone and cobblestone walls right there. And these are in line with these columns, by the way. It's stepped back, how many blocks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. It's as though it were a column, but it's not a column. It's just in the place of where one hypothetically could be if we wanted to place one. Back from that, we are beginning the walls of our temple, another 5 blocks back, and then 5 blocks across here for the cobblestone. And we can see in the middle of this, we have some diorite fill as well for that, for the walls. And you want to continue this straight back until we get to the back here. And of course, the back is going to be a mirror image almost of the front. So we have our 5 blocks here for that. And then we only have 2 blocks distance back here. So when you build this again, like you did at the front, you want to stop 2 blocks back from this fire pot here, which is in the same position as the ones that are at the front. Back here at the Obsida Domo, so, you know, the very long and complicated Greek word that I can't really pronounce properly. But that's what this area is. Whereas, as I said, this is where the worshippers would come and leave their votive offerings against the wall back here, because they weren't allowed inside the temple, but this is going to be the closest they could get for that. And you can see in line here and 4 blocks away, it's going to be another column back here to support the Obsida Domos. All right, so let's go back up here to the pro naos. This is what this is called, because this room back here, this cella, this is referred to as the naos. Naous, and the space in front of that is of course called the pronaos. You just got the pro in front of that. So 4 blocks away again, we want to have a Doric column, and then of course 7 blocks in the middle here, and then another column like that, and then fire pots again, 4 blocks back there, and build another fire pot. And then 5 blocks back to begin this section of the walls of the naos. Back here, we have a bit of our copper for the door, and of course our diorite frame around the door. And if you want to, you can just break these 2 blocks and perhaps place a door here of some description. There may be enough space, I'm not entirely sure, if you want to put one of those big complicated flying piston redstone doors here. That might be possible for you to do. Of course, I can't do redstone to save my life, so you'll have to find someone else that has a tutorial on that. Back here for the columns, 2 blocks away from this, and 2 blocks also, and then a space of 4, another space of 4 and a column, 4 and a column, and 4 and a column, and then 2 here and 2 there. Of course, I'm placing the slabs here to help you count the block spacing here. So let's take a good close look at this. You can see we have another wall at the back of the naos here, separating that from the obsididomos back there. And let me zoom out a little bit and show you that just from the top down. Of course, you can see in the middle there, you just want to place one column straight on the red center line right there. All right, I think I've done all the measurements here that you are going to need for this. Let's take one look at this all again from the top down. From the back of the temple towards the front. Right here, we had to go extra slow on this phase so we can get all of the blocks in place, but we can make up time now because a lot of this is extremely repetitive. Like all of these columns here, you want to do every one of these columns exactly the same across the peristyle, like you see done here. So as we go, I'm not going to remark directly on these columns until we get to the top, but you just want to stack up. We started with 2 blocks, so we're going up for another 2 blocks just straight up. Here's a bit more detail on our little fire pots. They're just done with cobblestone walls, upside down stairs, and a few more walls there. If you don't want these fire pots, you don't have to build them. They're just decorations. Of course, you're going to need, if you're doing this in survival, you will need a lot more torches than the ones I have around here. They're just the basic minimum for lighting. Let's go and let's take a look at the door and then the outside. So here's the detail for the door. Very simple. Across here for this incised brick pattern, which before I get away from that, let me go back over here and show that to you. I kind of glossed over it when we started. So here inside the wall, you can see we have a 3-dimensional brick pattern. And all of these bricks that we do are going to be 2 blocks tall by 5 blocks wide. As a general rule, some of them are going to be a little bit shorter when we get on the inside and some of the corners, but as they go along the face of the wall, that's how they're going to be. You can see they're laid out in courses. We're going to be skipping a block, and then a course, and then a block, and then a course. The blocks behind this here for the mortar, this may not be apparent, but it's all diorite, and the blocks themselves are cobble. And they're going to be staggered like that there in their shapes. So that is how that wall is going to go. So let's go back over here and get the right spacing for the lowest most course of that. So you can see right here on the signs, you can see there's all diorite to fill in the wall behind this here. I suppose you could knock out some blocks here and leave this hollow if you want to save yourself some of the amount of diorite. But do remember to light that up. Otherwise, you'll have an unintentional mob farm within the walls of your temple. That'd be really bad. So here for, I'm going to place these half slabs on top of what you should be building here. 5 blocks and skip a block, and then 5 blocks, turn the corner, skip a block, and so on and so forth. Here for that. Like so. So I'll just show you that from the top down. And that's going to be the design for the cobblestone on the outside. You can see it's 5 blocks and skip a block, 5 blocks and skip a block. Until we get back here, where this last little section by our fire pot is going to be 4 blocks. And then turn, and then 3 there, and then 5, and then 2 here, 4 more there, here, and of course right here, this is our red center line going through our building here. All right, let's take a look on the inside. We're mirroring the same pattern as we have on the exterior. Right here, these are the molding around the door. Over here, of course, I'll just place these on top of there. This one's going to be a little bit shorter. But then that one's 5. 5 again. 5 here. 5 there. Another 5. 2 there. Turn the corner. 3 more. And then in the middle here, we had to go to 6 for that course there to make everything work. Like so. If you have one block off or anything just slightly different on the spacing of this, that's entirely okay. Because the walls here, this is just an ornamental detail. So it's not necessary that you get it to be perfectly exact. Just get it close enough. If I myself came and inspected your temple, I would probably not notice if you had a couple of blocks out in one direction or another. So over here, let's start the door again. Details for the door. Your deep slate and your copper. Of course, all those things that I counted out with half slabs, you want to just add that up for 2 blocks of thickness, and then add a mortar section here made out of diorite for the walls, because as you can see, the core of the walls is made out of diorite, and we're just slapping these cobblestone bricks on the face of that for a nice little decorative facade. Of course, actual Greek temples, they would be made out of these big ashlar blocks like that, but they wouldn't be exactly incised as I have them. I have done this as a concession to the fact that we are doing this inside of Minecraft, so we have to sacrifice things here and there to make things look nice and still fit. So back here at the Obsidia Domos, right here. And here inside the naos, or the cella. And as I said, you're just stacking all that up and then leaving a gap for mortar. And doing the same thing with all the columns. As you can see, they're still going straight up. You can just keep building those up as we go. If you want to go ahead and construct these, to save us a little bit of time, I'm going to go back here and make a measurement. For this, if you want to just go ahead and build up your columns all the way around. I know some people prefer to do things like that instead of the slice method. So the total height of these columns is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 18 blocks. So you want to extend all of your column foundations that we have laid down over there up for a total of 18 blocks. Count that again. 1, 2, 3. Yep, 18 blocks for all of those. So if you want to get a head start on that, feel free to skip ahead, save yourself some time. The ones on the inside are also going to be that same height. Here, no, this one. So here we are again. Start the doorway. Details for the door. If you want to design your door differently, do feel free. And like I said, you want to find the center of these blocks here, and that is going to be the new air gap for the blocks, like you see down here. They're built on the same courses as we did before, the same plan. They are just shifted over by 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So here are the details for that, for the corner right here. And the front corner here, this one wraps all the way around. Solid like that. And then it continues with its staggered plan all the way back here to the back. Like so. There's going to be a standard repeating pattern. It wraps around like that there. It bends around the corner right here. And then straight into the back here where, of course, we have our center line. And now that we've done 2 courses of these, this is going to be a module. In other words, from this point here to this point here is going to be a module. So as we go, you will see that for the walls, all we are doing is repeating that pattern to go ahead and stack it up. So if we skip, let's skip that phase and go on to this one here. And you can see we've got another full course right here. It's exactly the same as this first course that we did. This is the first course, the second, and the third. So the first and third courses are going to be the same. Just do everything you did again for that there. And of course, the second and fourth courses are going to be the same as well. Now over here, details for the molding around the door. And the same holds true for the pattern of the bricks on the wall on the inside of the naos as well. And of course back here as well for the Obsidia Domos. All right, next phase here, a little bit more detail for the molding over the doorway, just like so. The molding is of course the same on the inside as on the outside. Let's go on to something just a little bit different over here to this next phase. You can see that was the top of the doorway, so we are extending our bricks just directly across the front of that there. On both sides, like so. And over here as well. Let's go on to this phase here where I can show you a bit more of that. So you can see clearly we have this course here is the same as that one there. And that one there, they're just alternating like I said that they would do. So you just want to build those up to the top of your columns, which you have been building. So I told you it's, what was it, 18 blocks to get to that point there. On the top of that, you want to put a capital, like you see done here. A Doric capital, very simple. We just have upside down cobblestone stairs on the sides here, and then an abacus on top of that. That's what this little top square of cobblestone is called. It's called an abacus. On the top of there, and of course, every one of these Doric columns, you want to do exactly the same. They are all exactly the same without exception, like you see done here. I'll show you that from the bottom. So go around and add that to all of your Doric column capitals. And we will then go on to the next phase where we are through with the peristyle. And we now want to construct the entablature, which is, of course, the point that when we get to this, you can always tell people in Minecraft that don't know anything about Greek temples, because they will build their columns and then they will immediately start building the roof. But that is wrong. There is another entirely very important element called the entablature that you need to make sure you always build this between your columns and your roof. So over here, we want to start this with doric to set one block back from the side there. It's kind of a tongue twister to say. And then on top of that, there's going to be 3 blocks thick, by the way. Our lintels of doric. You want to go and connect all the tops of your Doric columns. You want to just put a straight sheet of a 2 blocks thickness and 3 blocks wide of doric, like you see here, directly on top of all of these in a big rectangle, without exception, all the way around your temple there. There's some stuff behind this, but we'll get to it in a moment. Let's look at the exterior first. So for the Doric order, we have the triglyphs and the metopes, which we're going to start building. The triglyphs are going to be defined by these stone brick stairs here, and then 3 blocks for the metopes here for the slabs, and then stone brick stairs again, and then the slabs, so on and so forth in a 3-to-3 ratio all the way across the building. For the stairs, you want to build 8 of those, and you want to have 7 gaps for the metopes to make the very, very specific Doric entablature design. like so. Like here on the inside, we want to have this as well. For the third column from the back, or rather from the front towards the back, we want to have, we want to start joining these with the walls. Sometimes this wasn't always done in Greek temples. Sometimes they would just put the peristyle directly all the way around the temple without joining it. But for extra structural support and everything, I like to tie it into the building. So we want to have across the front here, across these two columns that we've been building, you want to have this go directly across your 2-block thickness and 3 blocks wide strip of diorite here, and that should join with this column here. And as we go back for every column, we now want to have this join to the building and have it be diorite on the top here as well for the section where the frieze would normally be. But of course, we don't have enough block resolution to make a frieze, so we are not going to be including one. This is a more budget design for a Doric order. And you want to do that, just leave these little rectangles out like so, all the way until you get to the back of the building, where because of the Apsidodomos back here, we have we have to leave a bit of a gap here for that one. And turn the corner, and you want to put this directly on top of the wall that you've been building, and then straight across these two columns at the back, like you see done here. And like so. And now let me show you this from the top. We'll take a look at the inside of the naos in a moment. Like so there. There's the entire sequence at a glance. And now let's lower down, take a look over the doorway. So we want to have this hang out 3 blocks over the doorway. And on the inside here as well, we want to have this come in for 4 blocks for that there. And on the side here, we do have a gap between this and the wall. It's going to be 2 blocks of gap here, and you want to put your strip of diorite directly on top of the interior columns like you did on the outside ones, like so. Like that there. And then once you have done all that laborious and tedious block placing, we will now go on to the next phase, where we are doing now more of the designs for the Doric order entablature here. And of course, this design here, we are going to have triglyphs in this are going to be represented by the diorite here. I suppose that looking at this, I think I made a slight oversight. Back here, we want to have this be diorite. In fact, let me just make that diorite and fill that in. We've got some construction gaps that we need to fix on this here, I think. For that there, that'll look a little bit better. For that, so this will alter your materials list just a little bit. But on the corner here for the triglyphs, we want to have this design here. And then we want to have for the metopes, which were square sculptural segments in between the triglyphs, we want to have some upside down cobblestone stairs, and then just a piece of cobblestone there. If you want to alter the design for this a little bit, you can perhaps place stairs like that instead. Perhaps. Yeah, I think they'd look okay like that. And maybe even like that. If you want to alter the design just a little bit, if you have something that you like better, if you like this one or this original one here for that. It's just a detail element. But it is a module. So as you can see, every time you build a triglyph, you want to build a metape beside that, and then a triglyph, and then so on and so forth, all the way across the front facade of the entablature and all the way around the back here. So you can see, very simple, repeating pattern, on and on until you get to the back here, whereupon we have another corner, and everything back here is, of course, a mirror image of what's at the front. So let's go back to the front here and take a look on the inside. We have a very simple design on the inside here. We just have a strip of stone bricks and then cobblestone behind that as well. A big rectangle of that for the porch, for the pronaos here at the front. Same deal for this section here. Very simple design. Along the sides here, this is all just straight cobblestone, like you see done here. Just your rectangle cutouts for that. Same design back here as at the front for this, for the Apsida Domos. You just want to wrap that around the corner here. That's the only thing that's different. And then just wrap it around back here for that. And on the inside, same design for the naos here. Inside the cella. And just roof it over with a straight sheet of cobblestone at this level. Here inside your columns. Done like so. Let's get a good look at this from the top down. Let's orientate ourselves. The front of the temple is over there on our right. And there's the whole thing at a glance. And let's go to the next phase also. Take a quick look at that and then lower down. At this phase here, we're in the home stretch now. We're going to be finishing the entablature. And we want to now build the cornice details for that. Like you see done here. Perhaps a little potion up for that. Where you did, well, no, it actually doesn't matter. So every other block, we want to have a full block of cobble and then a half slab in front of that, and then skip a block, full block of cobble and a half slab, skip a block, full block of cobble and half slab, skip a block, and so on and so forth. Without exception, you want to ruthlessly apply that pattern, except on the corner here. You probably want to have just a detail like that there on the corner, but you want to just turn the corner and then apply that all the way till you get to the back. All right, so on the inside here, we just have a very simple gap. This would be where we would install a frieze on our temple. If you want to get a little creative with stairs and half slabs and try to build some sort of frieze inside here, it's just a scrolling sculptural segment. It's sort of like imagine a continuous scroll, kind of like the Bayeux Tapestry, except in stone, and it's done all the way around this empty section here. That's what a frieze is. You can put one back here if you want to. No, but that's just extra details, because when you're standing down here, you're not going to see any of that. So take a look inside now. We have another frieze inside the naos right here. Right there. And of course another one back here, same detail, same design, up back here for the Apsida Domos. Not too difficult. But now for the slightly more difficult section, we are now doing the pediment, which is of course the triangular section on the front. Right there. And for this, we stopped here to put on our cornice, and now we want to extend it out a block here at the front for the raking cornice. What this is called, it's called a raking cornice because it's a bit more of the cornice, but it rakes over the side here. So that's what it's called that. And for this, you want to just put on a strip of upside down stone brick stairs all the way around the side, like you see done here. First, we have our full blocks here But then we're going to have some half slabs. So I'm just going to knock out the full blocks here so you can see the slant of this. And the half slabs here underneath that. This is going to be the slope. For every 2 blocks we go over, we're going up a half slab. That's going to be the slope. So over here as well, we're doing this for cobblestone as well. Behind that. Inside this section here, which will contain our sculptural elements. This has a name, but it escapes me at the moment. I looked it up yesterday too. I'll probably think of it after I finish recording. But anyway, so here for the details for this, you don't have to have the diorite exactly as I have done it, because this is mostly a random block placement of that. But I will go through here and knock out some of these so you can see it maybe a little clearer. Like that there. And we don't really have the block resolution to make nice sculptures at this small of a stage. So these are all symmetrical, by the way. So here's our central line. And the others are just a mirror image of that over there. So if you want to perhaps leave this blank and try and maybe make a different design up here, you're of course free to modify that design if you have a need to do so. But anyway, the ledge we're building this on, it's going to be 3 blocks thick, and behind that just a straight sheet of cobble. And we need to take a look underneath there at some point. So we will go and do that in a bit. Along the side here, we now have repeating patterns for our roof tiles. So I'm just going to show you this here. We, of course, just have the cobblestone slabs on top of our stone brick stairs. And then in a 1:3 ratio, we have that and the stone bricks, like you see done here. And this is going to be a module, by the way. Every time you build one of these, you then build another one, and so on and so forth behind that there until you get to the back, of course, which is a mirror image of what you did at the front, which I went over already. Ignore these, ignore this here. This is just a construction gap. This should be filled in with cobble. Looks like I missed a little space there for that. But we need to take a look underneath here, because we have some coffering for our roof, or rather for our ceiling. And here, so right on top of the frieze, you want to make this pattern here with cobblestone and diorite. It's a module again, so once you do one little strip of this, just repeat that strip until you get all the way to the other side here, like you see there. Same details here again for the pronouns. And that will finish that ceiling there. I want to go inside here. The same deal for our cella. For the naos right here. For the ceiling there. Just a 2x3 coffering. Done like so. And this is going to finish up the interior of the temple, by the way, for that. And I want to go back here and take a look at the Upstairs Domos. Because it's slightly different in its design. Right here, and just fill in this little pesky corner. Just fill that in with cobble. And same deal for this back here. All right, making good progress. So all we've got really left to build now is the roof. So let's go back over here again, and I will start with the pediment here at the front. And I've just remembered what this thing is called. This thing is called the tympanum. This triangular section where we're putting our sculptures in, it's called a tympanum. Tympanum. Over here on the side, we can see, I'll just knock these blocks out again, because they blend together a little bit. So let me give you a better idea of the slope. So you can see the full blocks and the half slabs here. They're done according to that pattern there. Behind that, of course, we just have cobblestone. 3 blocks wide until it gets to the back there of the tympanum. And a bit more detail for our sculptures. For these blocks here, and of course our center line right there. Over here, we have little platforms to put our acroterions on. Done like so, although that should be an upside down cobblestone stair, like so. Just 2x3 of dye right there. You can see a bit more of the roof tiles now. Of course, the roof tiles are another module and a repeating pattern in a 1:2 ratio. And we have these little ribs to separate off the roof, done like so. I always like to add these little roofs. I think they add they make things look more interesting in Minecraft, although they weren't technically done in the ancient world. That's more of a Renaissance and Baroque addition to things I like to tack on. But as you can see, once you do one of those, there are going to be, how many modules? 8? Looks like. For that. Over here again, you can see we're just continuing the roof tiles up until we get to the top. Over there, let me lower down and give you a good close look at it. I don't think you really need too much of a look, because this is just a repeating pattern, as I said. Right there. Of course, we have these little cobblestone stairs right there. And just a couple of blocks of dye right here for this acroterion. And we're finishing the tympanum here at the top now. Here is our center line. And you can see you just want to extend the slope from the raking cornice all the way up until they're going to meet at the front here. And let's just go into the next phase here and show you that a little bit better. Right there. So they all meet at the top here. Or of course we're going to have another acroterion. You want to have a 3x3 slab of dye right here. And we finished the ones here on the corners, by the way. Like that there. And then here at the back, we want to have a little ribbing detail along the spine of the roof at the top. And for this, I think it'd be more illuminating if we just skip on to the next phase. Here is a bit more of the diorite acroterion at the front. And here we're just doing stairs and half slabs. We have the stairs here, and then the half slabs here, and then the full blocks back there. This is a little repeating module, by the way. So once you do one little section of that, extend that all the way across until you hit the acroterion at the back there. Now, speaking of, let's go on to the final section here. We're going to go ahead and round up and take a look at the final acroterion. Of course, this is just a decorative element here at the front, made out of your last couple of blocks of diorite like so. And once you have done that and extended your roof tiles all the way to the front and done your ribbing and all of the details, your large Doric Greek temple will be complete. So I hope you have enjoyed the tutorial for the Greek Doric temple. Remember, the world is available for download, both for Java and Bedrock version, in the video description. So you can come here and take a look at any of these phases for yourself. If you need to, if the video is not clear enough and you need to just see it in person for yourself, or you just want to take a schematic for it for a Lightmatic or something like that, do feel free to avail yourself of the world download for that purpose. And I would like to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.